Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Ellen Pensky, and on behalf of Packet Fusion, I want to welcome you to today's Lunch and Learn Roundtable. Today's event is targeted specifically to state and local government executives, and it's all about navigating the complexities of the ever-changing government, including information about CalNet, resources, and details about moving to the cloud. So I just also want to remind you that it is a roundtable. We'd love to hear your comments and questions. You can post them in Q&A and we will get to them. We'll also be recording today's session too. So let me introduce our panelists. We have three panelists with us today. First up is Matt Pingatore. He is the Packet Fusion CEO. Matt is recognized in the industry as a visionary, and he's known for his 100% customer first perspective. He's seen Packet Fusion through many transitions and has adapted and pivoted with the times by staying on top of emerging technologies and how they'll shape the future. He not only knows how to talk technical, but he understands the technology, which is important today. Also with us is Alex Stanich. Alex is a cloud consultant for Packet Fusion. Alex is all about working with executives who are looking to drive their business efficiency, including getting to the cloud. He has nearly 10 years of experience working with customers and especially a strong focus on available resources. He's going to share that with you today. And also joining us is Mark Roese. Mark is the AT&T AVP for sales, especially focused on state, local, and education. He leads all of AT&T business activities serving the states of California, Oregon, and Washington. And he oversees a highly skilled sales and technical support team. And so we're really glad to have him here. Mark has held various leadership positions within AT&T since he joined the company back in 2007. And prior to that, Mark spent 16 years in the telecommunications industry with various companies supporting retail, finance, and public sector clients. So you can see we've got a great panel on hand. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate it. So we got you guys for about an hour. Appreciate it. I see a lot of familiar faces. As we know, we're very very well known in the SLED state local education vertical within California. We're big fans of the MISAC, so I recognize a lot of your names there. We'll get into a little bit of that later, but thank you and welcome. We're going to talk today about what's going on in the world, how the pandemic has changed our habits, what we know about government, and how we can help you. A couple slides on why projects fail. We've been doing this for a long time. We can talk about why they're a success. Everybody does that. I'll tell you why in my last 30 years in this industry, why projects, and you could get rid of cloud, really. We just put it in there because that's what we're doing now, but it's why projects fail. We're going to go do a little demo with Mr. Stanich on a tool that helps make your digital transformation a reality. And then Mark's going to come back on and talk about CalNet, our participation in that, what it is, how great it is, and we're big fans of it. So with that, we'll keep going. The last 18 months have taught us a ton. I'm going to start with the right-hand side. I was on a CDT California Department of Technology's webinar where they were presenting to us being the vendors of trying to sell our services to the state of California, and they gave us a bunch of tidbits of what to do and how to do it and how to position things. It was quite informative. But the one thing I took away from it was pretty amazing. This is state, this is not local, but this is state. So 70% of the California state employees still work at home. And they said that's not changing anytime soon, maybe down the road, but right now they're still working at home. They're redoing their leases. I mean, as a owner of a business, your P&L gets sharpened up when you don't have to pay leases. So state of California, same concept. They're not renewing a lot of these leases and letting people stay at home. This was unheard of before the pandemic, right? You had to go to the office. You had to punch a clock. You had to get things done. Now they're going to do is distributed workforce. Productivity is about the same, still same, if not better. But what they're having problems with is employee engagement. People are lost. They're not feeling this community. So we all have to do our job solving that. But taking that away, keep going on that, is we have to now allow work to be done from everywhere. No longer can you mandate that they come into the office. If you do, the great resignation happens, it's happening, and they're going to go find somewhere else to live. So we have to have this hybrid approach. especially in the contact center world, and we're big players in that. So having a tool platform that allows you to extend your network and your applications to the edge is key. Collaboration used to be voice. Voice was all about extending the voice. Now collaboration has taken over. The Zooms, the Teams, the Ring Centrals. This collaboration is one. Voice is still being consumed. It's just differently. It's no longer on a handset, or not so much on a soft phone. It's through these tools that we're using right now. I'm still talking as much as I ever had. It's just voice is just being consumed differently. And now all the players that have these collaboration tools have voice products that plug into them. Location-centric IT strategies are over. Everybody used to come to the office. You had big machines or cloud that you connect to those machines at the corporate or the PD or the, some of the bigger buildings. Now you have to have this distributed work at home centric network, and you have to design it for that. Got a little bit about this lately. We got connected. We didn't do it seriously. Everybody got a hall pass. We're going back and doing it because we're taking security seriously. The IT admin's jobs got much harder, more with less. Antiquated tools make people work at home, very difficult. Now they're responsible. IT is responsible for employee engagement. Like, wait a minute, I'm a tool guy. I got to deal with employee engagement. Well, that's where we help, the tools we have, etc. What else has happened in the last, that was 118 months. In the last 30 days, this is how crazy this industry is. Ring Central and Mitel joined forces. Basically, Mitel threw in the towel for their cloud products that we can't compete. They basically lost a lot of time with securing their uptime, moving to GCP, which is the right thing to do, but they lost any kind of innovation for 2 years. They fell behind Ring and 8x8. And then Microsoft and Zoom come out with theirs products and just took off. Mitel threw in the towel, said our cloud products over, move our cloud products to Ring Central. Ericsson, predominantly a hardware manufacturer, realized that hardware is dead. We need to get in the cloud world. They bought Vonage. Vonage actually bought New Voice Media a while ago to make Vonage. 8x8 bought Fuse. Fuse, same thing, realized we can't do this alone. It was a $250 million sale, fire sale for their install base. 8x8, we don't know exactly what they're going to do with it, but they basically stole that one. So on a Packet Fusion level, what did we learn? That our customers must have a digital transformation plan. And if you didn't have one before the pandemic, you most certainly have one now. And if you don't, contact us. Let us help you get there for networking, for tools, for processes, all the things that we're going to talk to you about in a second. Let us help. This one got us, right? If you're managing hardware, if you still like the blinky lights, you haven't bought into the cloud or MSP or infrastructure as a service, you still have boxes, make sure they're all up to date. Make sure you have the most current or as current as you guys will allow. When the pandemic hit and we had to take 400 of our customers that had premise-based phone systems, if you will, and we had to now have all the employees work at home, well, it wasn't designed to do that with older releases of software. We had to do a bunch of emergency upgrades to get them to current so we could extend the applications out to the workplace over the internet or over their VPN. Had they been current, they could have turned it on immediately. So we did mad rush for getting things current to allow people to take advantage of the newer technology. So that would be one of my takeaways for you guys. This is huge too. Don't try to do it alone. Leverage your partners, whether they're trusted advisors like us, taking you to the cloud and navigating that landscape, or your support MSP help providers that are doing your phone system, doing your storage, doing your circuits, doing all that, your email, all the different things that you are outsourcing or getting a cloud-based product. Leverage them to help you and get to different places and design things. Don't rely only on your staff. I mentioned this early, security got to pass. Get people working at home quickly. We'll deal with security later. Well, later's now. And you can't have the older security box at corporate. You need to have something that protects endpoints at home. So no one cares about a big of course we do, big Palo Alto box protecting my headquarters. Well, no one's there. He's working at home. So you got to have the next generation security. Digital transformation, talked about it earlier. What is digital transformation? It's nothing more than business. We've been doing this as businesses for our whole lives. We want to make sure things are more efficient, better tools, better processes, etc. It's just a new cool term for things we've been doing for years. Don't be scared of it. We just have unbelievably better, more digitally enabled, integrated, cloud-based tools to help you change your business process. People think they're going to go to the cloud and, oh, I just sign up and it just happens. Well, not exactly, right? There are a lot of acronyms being thrown up here, but all these things go into transitioning to the cloud. This is where we help on just a pure technology front. We understand what you have, what you need, how you're going to get there, and help you transition and find the right vendor and make sure the transition to the cloud for whatever platform product it is, whatever environment, whether it's UCaaS, CCaaS, security, SD-WAN, etc., SASE, Colo, we know that stuff backwards and forwards based on our 30 years in the history. That's on the technology side. Now bringing it home for the government, right? We've been doing this for 20 years as Packet Fusion, which I can't believe we're having our 20th anniversary next year. But we know government, right? You guys have multiple business units. You're not a single organization, and this is what we do. No, you have police, fire, library. You have all these different things. Police needs they need to be spoofed their caller ID when calling out. They need mobility on their smartphones. Fire needs a squared key system with klaxon ringing bells. Libraries need these crazy overhead paging systems. Power and water need to have a mass notification system. Performing arts needs ticket contact center. Parks and rec, they're distributed generally not even on your network. So we got to have some kind of something that works over a DSL or some kind of low, cheap Comcast bandwidth out there with no VPN and no server, no switches, just a phone. And so all these things, and there's a ton more, by the way, and you guys work at your own pace, right? We understand we got to go interview all these people, all your different departments, and make sure that we're doing this on your time. Your data network, you generally own a lot of your own fiber, or you're doing some kind of VPN. Well, the next generation is SD-WAN and SASE. So let us help you design the next generation network. E911 is here. Ray Baum's Act and Kerry's Law, that you have to have a dispatchable location, you have to have E911 sent with the right name, you have to have somebody on site notified. Take a look at our newsletter going out tomorrow. We've got a big section on this. And if you need any kind of topics about this, because it's now required by law that you adhere to this by, I think it's like February something of 2022. So take this stuff seriously. Mass notification, we'll zip through these. Procurement needs, digital transformation roadmaps, Microsoft Teams integration, TCO analysis, compliance. We'll get through all of these, but all these different things are idiosyncrasies that cities, water agencies, local colleges, community colleges, they all need to understand. So what will the new normal be, right? Will we go back to the headquarters? It's a great question. I do have I would like to launch a poll. How about this? All right, here you go, guys. First poll. Do you have 50% or more of your employees working from home? I'd love to get as much. Oh God, we got a couple yeses and no. We're at 50-50. Oh, yes is taking the lead. Here we go. Oh, 50-50. Right on. All right. We're at about a 50-50 tie on the number. Oh, okay. All right. It's about a tie. So half you don't have 50%. I should have done one more, a little more granular here and find out. I think everybody has some work at home, but 50% of you are saying half your workforce is not coming back. All right. Oops. Let me get back there. Let's go back there. Okay. Let's keep going. So what will happen to the workforce? What will happen to HQ? So the business drivers, these aren't too new, right? This is all old stuff that we're all trying to do, more with less, cloud first, scalability, CapEx versus OpEx. But the work from home thing is new. And so this is one of the biggest things you have to deal with: when they're coming back, how they're coming back. And if they're not coming back, how do we extend services to them to keep them engaged and productive in a securely fashion? So here's people's traditional land before a digital transformation plan. On the left-hand side, everything is on a corporate network in your colo that's on your network. And the first thing you did is you moved your email and CRM to some kind of a SaaS provider. Now, this is okay because you had a single internet connection basically on your WAN connected to the internet, and it worked fine. You might have had another internet connection to there, but mostly your applications are still real-time protocol, RTP applications are still in-house. Then you moved some real-time applications to the cloud, your UC, Unified Communications and Contact Center, and realized that your existing WAN, this MPLS, WAN technology, when you needed to traverse from site to site to get to the application that was on your network, worked great. But now somebody has to traverse your network to get to a different site to get to the application that's now out of the cloud that didn't work. So the next generation was SD-WAN. So now we put in the SD-WAN where we can actually get closer to these applications as opposed to the static WAN that you had connecting all your sites. Now all the sites are connected more closer to these applications to the internet and to the SD-WAN or SASE provider. You are now paired with these cloud providers, and you can get closer, faster, better service with cheaper, more internet-based DIA circuits with SD-WAN, as opposed to your MPLS DIA VPN. Then people said, hey, let's get our DevOps into the cloud on these hyperscalers. This is the AWS and the GCP, Google Cloud Services, where you're consuming bandwidth, storage, speeds, all the different things, processing power on a consumption model on their platform. Works great, we love it, but some of your stuff couldn't go. So some of the stuff wasn't supported. The short telephone system, for one, is not supported in the hyperscalers. We then find a colo to put your stuff in that you want to get it off your corporate, get in a colo, but you're still managing this stuff. This is nothing more. You're taking your data center, you're using their data center, you're still putting your driving, you're putting your boxes there, and you're managing your boxes. People say, well, I don't want to do that. So then the MSP, managed service providers, IaaS, infrastructure as a service guys came in and said, well, hey, we'll manage your hardware for you. You put it there, you give it to us, we'll manage it for you and charge you to manage it. Others will also say, instead of AWS and GCP and Azure, who use their own proprietary stuff on the back end to store it and serve it up and manage it, the IaaS guys and the MSPs are using Dell, HP, EMC, NetApps, commercial off-the-shelf products, and giving you access to that, and you're buying it in a consumption model. You're buying it on a per drink, per terabyte, per gigabit access to it, just like you're doing on AWS, but you're just using more household commercial off-the-shelf products. So fun stuff. Now you need a new type of security to manage all of this, right? This is you don't have boxes and applications at your corporate headquarters anymore. These are all in the cloud. So you need the next generation security to manage all this. So how the heck are you supposed to remember all this and get all this done? Well, let Packet Fusion, your trusted advisor, guide you through all of this. So we don't sell a product anymore, right? I used to sell a single product to somebody, and everything I had looked like a nail because all I had was a hammer, and I just hit it, say it was the best. ShoreTel was the best. MyTel was the best. This is all you could have. Mine's the best, best, best. Did I really have the customer's best interest in mind? I did. That's how we sold. Everybody sold back then. Now we get to truly understand the customer's needs, and we get to have a solution provided by multiple products. So we no longer carry a single product anymore, and we're not selling a product. We're selling a vision with a process to an outcome. And we'll get you there with our product portfolios, right? So we're certified direct implementers on UCaaS and CCaaS for all the products you see on your left. We are a reseller and partner of all the stuff in the middle. AT&T is there very proudly. That's our CalNet. We do all the stuff on regular stuff with NASPO and even just regular RFP, any of their products on the normal channels. But we're big fans of what they're doing with the CalNet, which we'll get to in a little bit. And then all the other products, we're a trusted advisor partner. We're very knowledgeable on all these, and we can help guide you and run processes to get you wherever you need to go in any of these. Some of the value added that we do on For cloud, right? A lot of people will just help you get to the cloud, pick a vendor and go away. I got 50 people that I'm repurposing from, premise-based phone systems to now be cloud architects and cloud trained and certified on all the different products. So we can provide all these different value-added services when our customers do go to the cloud. Our customer base really likes it. They know us, they love us. We've got long relationships. You take me to the cloud. You guys do all these things. Great. We're going to pick you for this, this, and this. Some of them are included in the cloud migration. If you need more than what's included in our general cloud migration, then at no charge, there will be a charge for it. But we'd love to work with you on any of these things and give our expertise. Should have probably had this one earlier, but we got 40 plus cities. We've got 30 or so other governments, the Port of Oakland, Oakland Airport, Turlock Irrigation District, California State Governor's Office just went to cloud with us. We actually put them on Mitel, and we're going to have to probably switch them over to Ring Central or somebody else here soon. So a lot of experience in the government. Getting there, good. We're right on pace. Why do cloud projects fail? And again, this could be any project. Sometimes they just get too technical. Somebody just cares about, it's run by an IT person, which is not a knock, but they take it and they want to roll out technology, and they want to get the integration, and they want to do the screen pop, they want to get the Salesforce integration, and they want to nail that thing. And so it connects in and then roll it out, which we love. I'm in for this part of it. But we also have to interview the people. We have to talk to the people. How are they going to use it? Why are they using it? What are we doing? How can we make things better? We then have to find the process, marry the process, the people, and the tool together. You can't focus on one. You have to have this balance of all three of these together to have a successful implementation. I've done a 45-minute presentation on why crop projects fails. We're going to get through this in 5 minutes. I do have that online. We could probably send it to you if you want. Number two, don't bother the execs. IT's got it. Don't bother them. They've given me the blessing to do what we need to do. Great. I'm all for it. I think we need to get in the execs. This needs to be blessed from the top down as opposed from the bottom up. When it comes from the top down, the messaging is right. The value propositions are correct, and the execs are on board. It just makes for such a better implementation. We'll deal with the training later. Just cut it over. Our guys are smart. Do the training later. That doesn't work for us, right? We're big fans of doing training beforehand, at cutover, and after. We used to do live training. Now with the situation we're in, we can do live remote training, or we can do virtual classes. We can do videos, but training is very, very powerful, and we are big fans of it. Can't tell you how many times customers will sign a deal and say, all right, go install it. We're like, well, who's your contact? No, I'm done. I signed the contract. Well, no, we need somebody from your organization who has a vested interest in the success of this project. So you definitely, just because you sign the agreement doesn't mean you guys, the customer gets to go away and we have to do everything. We'll do more than anybody else out there, but we still need someone who is running this project from your side. Poor communication. This is big, right? The Simon Sinek start with why, right? Why are we doing this? How are we doing this? When are we doing this? Where are we doing this? Who's the communication coming from? Top down. It needs to come from the executives. It needs to come from the line of business. It needs to be sent out via internet, email, Twitter, phone, call, management meetings. This needs to be advertised, talked about, why we're doing this, how we're doing this, and why we're doing this. So this is big for us. We're cut over. We're done. Okay, bye. No, today's cloud projects cut over is just the beginning. We have to then come back and do surveys. We have to go do user adoption. We have to do new training. We have to do documentation, which I just stole my number 7. So there's so many things we need to do after cutover. It used to be you cut over and you were done. Not anymore. With cloud, your cutover is just the start. We need user adoption. We need you guys to be using these tools as we provided you in the beginning, as we sold it. Then at the end, we came in way over budget, right? If you don't get a trusted advisor or somebody with years of experience like us, you're going to pay for the wrong licenses. You're going to have too many of the licenses. The install is going to be too high. Your terms and conditions aren't going to be good. You know, something happened somewhere in the process to get us way over budget. That's where we help out and make sure you're not. And then I kind of stole my thunder earlier, no documentation, you know, programming, network diagrams, et cetera, et cetera. So watch your step. That's the tripping little kid there. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about what was going on in the UCaaS space with our government accounts, right? Right now it's a 2-horse race. It's Teams and Zoom Phone. And there's a place for each of them. And we love both of them. We made big roads when Zoom first came out. We sold so much Zoom Phone. It's incredible. They've been very open to us. The pandemic, they've just boomed. And for 10 bucks, 12 bucks, we can now add voice to your Zoom and you can have Zoom Phone. Obviously, there's a lot of complexities that have to happen to make it work. We talked about all those earlier. That's exactly what we do and how we can help. We've done things like bring your own bandwidth, where I bring a SIP carrier to Zoom and we take your existing numbers and your existing carrier and plug it into Zoom through an SBC, Session Border Controller, and then those phone numbers ring on Zoom Phone. Contact centers with Genesis, InContact, and 5.9s integrated to Zoom. We've done all those. Then you get to Teams. Everybody's using Teams. How do we integrate it? Right? We have the ability, you know, starting off with our customer install base with their Mitel products. I can have your Teams client ring. When you hit dial, you get dial tone from the Mitel SIP trunks, and you get 4-digit dialing back and forth between Mitel and Teams. Not the end all be all. It's kind of a hybrid approach until you get to all Teams, and then we can do direct routing. Right now, Microsoft, you have to buy a license for them to turn on the dialer. You then have to buy a calling plan from Microsoft to actually make the DTMF dial out through your to the telco provider. Microsoft never wanted to do this. They were never good at it. About 1.5 years, 2 years ago, they allowed direct routing, where now I can plug my one of 40 different carriers from IntelliPeer, AT&T, TPX, et cetera, plug right into Teams, and now they're the trunking provider. And with that, you can offer redundancy. If Teams is down, you can take the provider who now owns the DID and send it to a different client. So there's a lot of redundancy type applications. So when I say it's a 2-horse race, I can't leave out Ring and 8x8 because I've got several cities on Ring and several cities on 8x8, and they've done an amazing job. Ring has recently partnered with, about 1.5 years ago, with Avaya, and they just have partnered with Mitel to take their base and move them to Ring Central. 8x8 is doing the same thing. They just bought Fuse and moving them to 8x8. So all these guys do a great job. They all have government contract vehicles. We can get procurement going. We can get you integrated in through one of these contract vehicles. We're big fans of CalNet, what's going on with them. I think it's like 750 million the AT&T does. AT&T does 70% of the CalNet business. And of that 70%, I think 60% of it is with the local LE, local education, kind of where we fit. We don't play too much in the state. We do, but we're more on the local side of the house, and CalNet dominates there. And they're really looking to us to help our customer base out and net new opportunities. The CETF, the Emerging Technology Fund, a lot of people don't know about this. This is where there's a big pool of money that are cities or nonprofits, but the cities and local government agencies can apply, kind of like E-rate, can apply for this. You get awarded it, you go buy your circuit or your DIA, your MPLS, and they'll credit you back and they'll give you a rebate at the end of the year for half of whatever you spent. Ask us about that. CARES Act. I've had 3 or 4 of our city customers do a whole redesign, and their CARES Act money spent was used to pay for the POs. Now recently, I think the CARES Act also allows for cloud-based projects. The infrastructure bill, there's a lot of money in there for state and local governments to grab to do big projects, from Wi-Fi to network rebuilds. And I hear there's more stuff coming in the Build Back Build Back Better by Biden, the BBB. So that's kind of the things we see happening that have changed, that are really going on today. You guys need to be aware of. We'd love to help you with that. One of the tools we have that's available to us is our Pathfinder tool that allows you to make your digital transformation a reality. And I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to pass it over to Alex. Stop sharing. There you go. And then Alex is going to share.
There we go.
And so maybe you can give a little preview what this is, Alex. And
yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, Matt. Good stuff there. So when we give these presentations and talk about digital transformation, really one of the questions that always gets asked is, great, I appreciate everything. And, we have our day job, and trying to stay up to date with all this stuff is a full-time job. So how do you do it? Because there's way too much noise going on out there. The industries are changing faster than we can keep up with. And what we've done is, in the last few years, created some key partnerships and hired some key individuals that have really bolstered our bench as far as cloud services go. And one of the tools that we utilize is what we call our Pathfinder app. You'll see here, this is next generation, a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning built into it, but everything ranging from data center and fiber to cable quotes, and also our solutions architect's notes is all indexed and uploaded to here so that we're up to date with what is going on, active projects, etc. I'm just going to show you a few of the key tools that we have been utilizing for a lot of our state, local, and education customers to help them understand the cloud and navigate through projects. To start with our provider portfolio, this is really kind of the breadth of cloud services companies and organizations that we have relationships with. We represent about 450 different cloud service companies today, ranging from the AT&Ts like we have today with us, down to some very niche security providers that do one or two things extremely well that you've probably never heard of. So we'll start here, just kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the landscape. You definitely have some household names, 8x8, Zoom, Avaya. But if we click into this, it's all high-level information about the provider. So where we step in is helping you navigate the industry, getting the information you need so you don't have to go out and do all the research and talk to 8 different vendors and decipher through the noise and the confusion that they're throwing at you. You'll see here we have one-pagers, case studies, videos, and actually direct escalation contacts, which are huge for post-sale engineering help or even outages. I know one of our sales reps always looks to hear when if we have any outages or they need to escalate something internally with one of our providers. This is all information. It's updated on a monthly basis, so all this information is accurate. And if you want to dive into this tool a little bit more, just reach out to Packet Fusion, your sales rep, or Matt directly, and we'll schedule a time to better dive into this. Like I said, it is normally about an hour demo. So I'm going to go into what the next tool I wanted to show for you today is our dynamic matrix. If we know that there's a certain project going on, this tool is great to understand a particular technology swim lane, as we call them, or actually vertical. And it is, my internet's having a good time today, as we can see. But you'll see here, we have them actually built out for every technology that we can assist you with. So I'm going to jump down here to the UCaaS one, since that's where we got our start and we know extremely well, but it is a very congested market. As Matt mentioned, there's a lot of consolidation happening today, and so staying up to date with that is huge. But we can start down selecting right from here where we want our data centers. And you'll see each of these providers starts moving around. That's that artificial intelligence and machine learning built in. And I'll show you why here in a second. But compatible handsets. The chip shortage is killing everyone right now. We're looking at anywhere from 3 to 9 months in back order for some handsets. So if we want to reuse some poly devices we have, we'll go ahead and select that. Ticketing ERP, let's go ahead just for fun, use Salesforce today. Productivity app if we need it, where how about we do G Suite? And then compliance, if there's anything along compliance, we can go ahead and put those in as well, FedRAMP, whatever it is. Also, Gartner Magic Quadrant is pretty weighted heavily within our state, local, and education customers. And so they want to see who is Gartner rated. Generate this matrix. And you'll see here that the providers that have the green check marks hit all of the boxes and all of our decision-making criteria. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We can see we can start down selecting these providers that don't meet the criteria, but all of the information that executives want to make sure that their IT staff has done doing due diligence when making a 3-5 year commitment to one of these cloud service providers, we have all that information for you right at your fingertips. Primary data centers, compatible handsets, is it a proprietary platform, or are they white labeling some Cisco BroadSoft, whatever it might be, we have access to. So really your one-stop shop. What this then segues into, though, once we've done our initial kind of conversations and discovery, we like to kick things off with our interactive quick assessments. These are really early on discovery questions that just give us a lay of the land. Best part about it is you can fill them out in your own time. We send them over to you in a URL. And you'll see here, once again, we have them for every technology. But let's touch base on the Teams one, since that's a big conversation today. Should we go direct routing, or are we looking at integrating or doing a chat bot? What is that Teams integration look like with our current UC platform or a UCaaS provider? And so you'll see here all the basic questions. Really, the goal here is to cut down the time. If you were to do this on your own, you're going to talk with 7 or 8 different sales reps at each provider. They're going to ask you the same questions, wasting hours of your team's time. As soon as you click submit, you send over to our solutions architect. We have a 48-hour SLA where they turn around a statement of requirements and a recommendation on 2, 3, 4 providers, and reasons why we should take a look at that, cutting down time and getting us to the right provider as quickly as possible. And I've got time for one more application here I want to demo for you, and that's going to be our total cost of ownership, or a TCO calculator. And a lot of times UCaaS or moving to SIP all make sense as far as feature functionality, business continuity. But when we talk to a CFO, we want to see what the actual TCO or ROI of utilizing these new next-gen technologies look like. So we've built out this UCaaS total cost of ownership calculator. This is pretty high level. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. And if you want to set up time with one of your Packet Fusion's consultants, I'm more than happy to do a deeper dive on this. There's many more variables we can add into this, and some soft costs that I can
click the additional details. Yeah, so there's a ton of stuff, and each one of these breaks out and gets bigger and bigger as you go along. So we can get this as detailed as you want or as granular as you want. We also have one that's spreadsheet based that is like 26 tabs long that gets very, very complicated and very, very minute if you need it. But this gets us 90% of what we're looking for our customers.
Yep. And with that, I just reach out to Packet Fusion, and we'll do a deeper dive with any of you like with this tool, and help you assist you with your digital transformation journey.
So we had 50% or more of you. Half of you guys had 50% or more of your employees are working at home. About 3/4 of you on this call have all used CalNet or NASPO, and about half of you guys have a digital transformation plan. So thanks for answering the polls. We'll have one more at the end there. I'll go back to sharing my screen. Let's do that one. Share, bang, and we got Mr. Mark Roese coming back up. Mark, are you there?
Yes, I am.
He is.
Thanks, Matt.
My man with AT&T. Cannot believe we timed this right. You got 18 minutes if you need it. If you don't, we can cut it short and give everybody some time back. I'm going to start it with, I'm super excited that you allowed us into your program. Not everybody gets in. You scrutinized the heck out of everybody. We had to do a painstaking process to get us. You who knew who we were, obviously we knew who you are, and we were blessed to do this. That said, you guys, AT&T, this CalNet has been such an overwhelming success that you're allowing guys like ourselves, Packet Fusion, to go on a one-off basis. We have to get approval for each customer that's done it, and you guys haven't denied us yet, to go work on a specific account, generally in the lead, local education, which is where we play really well in. And not that you guys underserve that, but you guys now allow us to overserve them. And we understand the process, we understand your products, and they range from SIP trunks to cellular. And you're going to kind of get into this and kind of tell us what's going on with CalNet.
Absolutely. And thanks, Matt. And thanks to the entire Packet Fusion team for giving me time to cover this today. We've been a provider of services to CalNet, or excuse me, specifically to California for over 100 years. And we've been providing services through the CalNet program since its inception back in the 90s. I've been part of the program with one company or another since that inception in the late 90s. And again, we're just as excited to have Packet Fusion as one of our approved alliance partners going forward into the new next gen products and services categories. So quickly, I think, most everyone knows a little bit about AT&T. Our CalNet solutions are all built on our robust statewide wireline and wireless networks, as Matt suggested. And we do have a dedicated team of state, local, and education employees located throughout the state. And we've enhanced that team with these trusted alliance partners, such as Packet Fusion, as we enter into the next gen contracts. The slide that's up there, I'm not gonna read it out, but one of the key points on that slide is network coverage. We've expanded in the last 3 years our fiber optic network coverage to 8.9 million strand miles statewide. It's an $8.5 billion investment in that infrastructure, and it definitely, has improved our ability to cover the populace of California to the point of about 99.8% of the state's population has access to some form of an AT&T broadband service. You want to hit the next slide, Matt? I'm not going to cover all of these. For those that are on the phone and familiar with CalNet, there are a vast number of CalNet contracts that make up the CalNet suite of products and services. In the next gen program, there are 16 categories. And again, I'm not going to read them all out because if I did, I'd kill more than my 18 minutes that Matt has provided me today. But there are literally tens of thousands of AT&T products and services that are available through CalNet. And I'm going to just touch on the highlights of a couple on the next few slides. Again, this should be a familiar theme. I think you've heard this earlier from Matt and Alex. AT&T is in the business of delivering edge-to-edge capabilities, and we do that through CalNet. We not only deliver them from an end-to-end perspective, but we provide a wide range of services that fit needs big and small, simple or advanced. So whether you have a need in one of these categories or many of these categories, AT&T and Packet Fusion can bring those solutions to bear for your agency. Next slide. So one of the newer categories that has a lot of new advanced product and service capabilities is category 29, which is converged VoIP. In converged VoIP, AT&T offers several options, including Office at Hand and Microsoft Teams direct routing, as you heard about a little earlier from Matt. And again, customers are rethinking what the office is going to look like, and whether that's remote work, hoteling, traditional office environments, or some combination of those, this category brings products and services to bear that, again, allow that mix and match no matter where an employee's office is physically located, whether that's out of their home or in the traditional office.
And maybe you can elaborate on that. Maybe I'll throw out a couple. Like right now, you have Ring Central on this contract as your own branded something called Office at Hand, but it is Ring Central's product that they love and go today, but it's through CalNet.
Correct. So think of it as a managed service offering of that RingCentral product.
Which is really cool. We're really excited about that. You also have Zoom meetings as part of the CalNet contract, and we are actively getting or trying to get Zoom phone added to that. I'm taking an active interest getting the right people Zoom and the right people AT&T together to get this done, because this would be a boom for us. So hopefully you're going to have Zoom phone there soon. What other products do you guys have on this VoIP service?
You know, the biggest new product, Matt, if you jump to the next slide, and you did a great job of covering it earlier, is Microsoft Teams with AT&T Direct Routing. What the pandemic showed us was that need to adapt quickly to these new UCaaS or new collaboration suites. And you mentioned Zoom. You know, we pivoted quickly. We are the only provider of Zoom licenses, managed Zoom licenses on the contract today. And as you mentioned, we're looking to expand that just as quickly as our relationship with Zoom allows. But again, in addition to that, Microsoft Teams with AT&T Direct Routing, we've seen a significant uptake in the need for customers who were using Teams in an office environment to be able to now essentially turn that into their phone system and make it secure, do it seamless, so that, again, wherever you're working from, you get that look and feel as if you're working in your office.
Super cool. So we're big fans of what's going on with Microsoft Teams, and they're admitting that they're not the best at providing the underlying telco. This is what you guys have done for 100+ years. And now we can simply plug into Teams and take the actual switching of the worldwide call and go rides on your network versus the, you know, network that AT&T, that Microsoft does. So we're big fans of what you're doing on this. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're real happy with this. The next, broadband with internet service. This is a new category for CalNet. Probably everyone on the call uses some sort of broadband, and I'm going to guess anybody who's in a legacy AT&T area of the state, you're probably buying some sort of broadband services from AT&T today. And those have not been provided under a CalNet contract that allows for SLAs, that allows for all the things that CalNet brings to the table. So we're excited about having broadband internet as a CalNet category. So again, it's all the basic stuff that you would see from the broadband products that AT&T has offered in the past, just now under the AT&T umbrella.
Awesome. Next slide.
Flat rate internet. That's another, again, older CalNet category, but one of the significant new additions to the internet category is the availability of software-defined WAN solutions. So as Matt did a great job earlier setting up, SD-WAN allows customers more control and versatility of their network connection solutions. And you can use a wide variety of those, whether it's the flat rate internet services that are available through this category, broadband internet through the other category, wireless, MPLS, you name it, SD-WAN enables that. So again, Matt, to your earlier question, provided as a service, we now have the ability to sell SD-WAN as a service through CalNet.
Very cool. Sorry. Yep.
And if you want to jump to the next slide, this is the last one I'm going to cover just quickly. And again, it's not a new category, but multi-protocol label switching, MPLS. The data network category is category 20. Again, not new to CalNet, but we do have a fabulous new feature that we've seen a lot of state agencies take advantage of. And as Matt said earlier, we're starting to see the local governments take advantage of it as well. And that is NetBond. That NetBond is essentially our cloud service connectivity product. And it allows us to create an ecosystem of cloud service providers, such as Microsoft, AWS, Salesforce, just to name a few, and allow a secure connection via our MPLS network from any client on that MPLS network to those service providers. Again, instead of having to pin that network up on your own and be responsible for all of that, you simply have a single connection into the carrier, and the carrier manages that back-end connectivity into all those cloud service providers. Again, Microsoft has been huge. AWS has been huge, especially with the effects of the pandemic. So we're seeing a big uptake on that, and we're real happy to have it on CalNet now.
Cool. Oops, sorry, yeah.
Final slide, and of note for interest for the locals, the non-state entity participating agreement and the authorization to order. If you are already one of the 2,000 plus non-state agencies that take advantage of CalNet, this shouldn't be new to you. What is new is the state of California is mandating that you renew your NESPA and ATO for CalNet NextGen. So what that means is you just have to go to the link that's provided. And I believe we're going to, this is recorded and we'll probably make these slides available. But you can just go out to the CalNet website on the State Department of Technology website. You can find this link, but you are responsible for renewing your NESPA. And that's whether you're using the services of our partners at Packet Fusion or whether you're buying from AT&T directly. To use the CalNet contract, both these documents have to be renewed this year because CalNet 3 is expiring. Matt, that's all I had. The final slide is just for information purposes. If you want to explore all of AT&T's products and services, contracts, the SLAs, anything you can imagine, att.com/CalNet. That's your location for our public website, which gives you anything and everything, well more than I was able to cover in my 10 minutes today. So feel free to browse at your leisure.
Awesome. That was great. So the concept is we love CalNet. We're big fans. I know you said it earlier. We all know what CalNet is. It's a vetted contract vehicle, procurement vehicle that you don't have to go out to RFP, and it's valid. Your procurement team should allow this through, and we simply place orders. There's no contract because the contract terms are already been negotiated. There's no installation charges because that's not part of CalNet as well. So we've done 3 or 4 implementations of this already, and it's been a big success. So if you like that avenue, we're fans of it. If your procurement needs to do more of a wholesale investigation or mandating that, the tool we showed earlier allows us to ethically pit multiple vendors against each other based on the needs that we've taken and required and gotten from you guys and issued some form of an RFP to the multiple people. And we've gotten through a lot of the city and state local procurement departments of what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's kind of the new way things are happening today through a trusted advisor. 3 years ago, I'd say the procurement people didn't quite understand it. Now they do. So what we're trying to offer to you here does pass the sniff test with your procurement people. So I would end it with, let's partner. We're experts at this. We know what we're doing. We'd love to help you. Half you guys on this call have been our customers for 10 or 15 years, so you know what we do. And we're just switching from what we've been doing forever over the last 5 years to get into cloud. So thank you so much for joining.